Hi everyone, this is Sovereign Key, Lauda Leon, and I have a special guest today. Her name is Ruby, and she has a special ability, which is something that she's going to describe.
I have, for some reason, I've been given the ability to see phenomena that would be considered out of the ordinary if you're not aware of what's actually taking place, because it's present, it's in the now, it's happening. But I get the special eyes, the sight to actually see some of this action, and it's everywhere. It's everywhere in every sky,
Mm.
all over the world. And what we're seeing now is a new system that
The
has come in.
trinary system, which, yeah, the trinary's coming in, like I said, years ago.
Oh my.
Mhm. They thought it was a binary for that's all you could read about was
Oh,
binary, but it's trinary.
right.
It's a three-sun system.
Oh, I may have captured that. I'll have to dig that out for you. I don't think I have it ready for today, but yes, I've caught that. Three. And I would say recently, that the system that I've been watching, I became aware of last, this past late April, um, because I use a um, sky cam to watch what's happening um, all over. And so these cams capture the atmosphere and the sky of their locale. So wherever they're happening in Italy, Australia, United States, um, Scandinavia, it's all over. And they're in real time, and they um, are captured in blocks of time. So they'll run one capture that was taken like at 9 in the morning, and you'll see that for a couple of hours, and then it starts a new one. And so it's a continuous and constant panning of the skies. And so it's time stamped and date stamped, and you can check that for yourselves. So the system that I have watched is came in about late April, and only a few places really were showing. I would say San Diego, Cal Poly in the United States. Uh, there were several in Australia, Cades, Gorge, Savannah, mostly the West Coast and Australia. Uh, yeah, I would say those are. It just seems that that's where it was best viewed, and it's available to everyone to see with the naked eye. You do not need binoculars or a telescope. Uh, I've caught it at night. Yeah, I looked yesterday, so it's so bright you can see it at night, and you will see it as a like a ginger turmeric colored system. So it has a really good contrast to uh, the sky itself. And if you highlight it or use the um, color tool on your computer, everybody has that. And you can highlight it by lightening or darkening, and you can really sometimes it's just amazing what is hiding because they obscure. There are clouds that look like they're supposed to be clouds, but once you look at them, they are cloaking devices.
Mm-hmm.
And these cloaking devices are amazing because I watch people here where I live, and I can see the massive things that are going on because the brain just sees like um, what it thinks is there.
Mm-hmm.
And so a cloud for most people is a cloud. That's all. But behind these things, or with a trained eye, even you don't have to have special gift. You can see there are anomalous structures all over our skies now,
In battles.
and huge battles with huge. When I say huge, I wish this was not real, but they are battling over us.
Mm-hmm.
They are battling each other with craft and ships and weapons that defy anything I have ever seen in sci-fi, and I am a huge fan all my life. They have taken this stuff for whatever we have been doing, because it's so dark.
Yeah.
It's very demonic, and as I have told you, Lauda, we must be very, very special to have this happen all around us. And I also want to say that they're not just probably for many people, the sky is one thing, but they're on the ground and they're under the ground, because I've shown you the demons, these demons that live under the ground that are caught on the sky cam. So if you look and you scroll down, you're going to see, with enough looking, you'll see these I call them goblin looking things, because these are actual entities that live and have manifested for us to see that they're here. And what class they are, I don't know, because there are classes of them. We know that. They are afoot. So this is this system that's come in. They're rallying around.
The
They don't
gates are
want it.
opening.
They do. Oh, I believe they are.
Mm.
I believe they are. I think that what I noticed that probably in the last since we've had shutdown. When I looked, for some reason, I was prompted, my higher self, and when I saw that, it made sense, because they're everywhere now. They're above and they're below, and I've seen them on the ground, and I have caught them with my own camera in craft and in beings that entities, I should say, that are present.
They like to use cloud cloaking.
Very much.
They also use and create clouds as a fuel system.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
As a fueling system.
Mm-hmm.
So they're taking the water?
Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
The only reason why I know that is because when I was young, I was abducted on one of these ships, and I saw it. I saw the technology, and I saw them creating the clouds, and the clouds were, and then they were cloaking, but they were actually taking the water out and the moisture out of the air as a fuel system.
That is very interesting, because that's a lot of the people that have reported seeing the craft report that they are using the water, the lakes up in Vancouver, Seattle. I've seen a huge craft as well in Seattle, and that makes sense. Our resources, our water.
It's all resources, all of it.
We are being harvested for everything.
Literally.
For everything.
So I'm going to share screen. Or actually, you're going to share screen, because you're going to navigate us through all of your findings and captures.
Right.
And this is something that you watch, and you basically study it daily. So you go into the cams, and also maybe discuss a little bit about the ones that were shut down. So the cams that get shut down, including some of the telescopes that for no known reason have been shut down in certain locations.
In certain locations, yeah. Okay. I will share screen. This is the virtual telescope website that I have come across, and I believe it is hosted out of Italy. And there is a special event coming up, which I think would be interesting. It's called The Glory of Comet C 2020 F3 Neowise, and it will happen on the 24th when the comet, or this system, I should call it the system, is supposed to be midway on its journey through our system here. And so they're celebrating this event on July 23rd. And I brought this up because I thought it was interesting in that it's the only site that I found that is at least addressing something that's public, it's free, and it seems to be, interested astronomers that are watching the skies and seem to be tracking what they call this C2020. So I wanted to bring that up for everybody so that you have something to compare to.
Yeah.
There's lots of stuff going on. There were several comments, the Swan, I think, and I want to call it the Newsom, but there are a couple that have come and gone or will be back around again. So there's all this activity. And this may be part of, as you discussed earlier, Lauda, of there's a lot coming, and there's a lot already here. So that is what one of the things I wanted to share. And this is an acronym. It's called ATLAS, and ATLAS are telescopes that are in Hawaii on Mauna Kea and on Haleakala. And these telescopes were to pan the skies for asteroids and meteorites. And they have been closed since 2018. Now, this link is called atlasfallingstar.com, and I'm sure that you'll post that for everybody watching to go to, because it began, as you can see, in 2011 of December, and March of 19 of 2018 is the last logging of any activity. I want to point out also, last year, there were 2 solar observatories that were shut down. And one was in Colorado. Forgive me because I don't have the name off the top of my head, but they were shut down, and all of the employees were removed immediately. All of the residents of this little town were evacuated, and it was closed for a good long time. And they came back and said that somebody that was an employee of this solar observatory, now they closed them in other parts of the world as well, but this was in our country. And they said the reason was that the employee was using their work computer for watching things that they shouldn't have been watching. And so they hauled that person away. And that was their excuse. And they never came back and gave any plausible reason for shutting down a major solar observatory. So that also points, and that was recent, a year ago, points to obscuring what is going on so that we can't see it.
And so that we don't find out about it.
And so something happened, yeah?
Well, but the interesting thing is there's those of us that have been shown this in advance, and we don't even have to wait for the technology because we know it's coming. Makes me think of the question, the chicken and the egg, right? What comes first? Is it that the people already know? Just like in centuries and eons, people have come in being able to see and share what is coming. But now that they have this technology, they want to control actually all, they don't want anybody it's almost like, what's the best way to shut down information while you make sure nobody even has access to the technology?
Oh, wow. Thank
That,
God for you.
because then
Thank God
nobody,
for you.
you control it all then, right? Because
Yes,
there's
that's
always
it.
going to be one person who defies everything to get the truth and the information out. So one of the things that I was shown, and this is something that's fabulous with Ruby, because Ruby's, what she's able to do is basically confirm the things that, well, people like me just have come in seeing and knowing and being able to feel.
I am I am so glad that I can do something. And
So
I've,
no, what you're doing is amazing, because what is traveling and coming here is not just one meteor or one that we're going
yes.
to be seeing literally hundreds and thousands coming in clouds and clouds of debris that the trinary system's bringing in. It's coming in advance because of everything that's it's traveling with. So
Oh,
this is
it's like a net, right? It's like a galactic net that just dragging everything. And it,
dragging in front and behind. So what's coming in front of it is going to hit here first as the trinary comes closer and gets in. So I mean, it's once it does come through, it is going to go through a dimensional wall. There's like that's a bit more of the quantum metaphysics of it, but it's going to be introduced by the clan that is going to be coming in, which are all the meteors, the debris, the dust, the special particles that are connected to an entirely different system. So, this is all things that I know that they've been able to detect with this sort of technology, but they won't touch it. They won't, and they've been told to shut it down. You do not spend this kind of money to build something like this to shut it down and do nothing with it, unless you're really, really trying to stop what is really
that's right. Well, this whole thing. Oh wow, Lauda, that's
people.
your your abilities are. I am so grateful. I'm so grateful that you're here to show us. And the thing that I find about what's happened, at least from my own perspective, is that um, with the shutdown of the entire globe for, as we know, months. In some places are still terribly locked down. Uh, they're scrambled and they found a perfect
Oh,
opportunity, right? So that if you can't breathe, okay, your oxygen level is reduced by 3% wearing a mask all day, and you're coward. You can't go to a park, or you can't go shopping, and if you do go buy food, you have to stand in a little spot, and so our vision. I always say my vision is like tied to my ears too, but I can't hear right unless I can see, and vice versa. Um, we we are missing, I would say, like 99.9% of everything that's going on.
oh yeah, and that's
This
exactly.
sphere, right?
This is why I said from the beginning, it's this isn't what they're saying it is. This is because they just want to put everything in place because they know what's coming, and it's likely that it is going to be a meteor. It's likely that it is going to be something that is so
Wow,
colossal.
totally.
You have to like basically set up the entire planet.
Who could have ever? Could you imagine waking up to that? And
Everybody,
that's what they did. They pulled it off.
right, keep everybody for the most part inside, so we're not even seeing, I mean, and there's nothing normal right now, by the way. The weather is so destabilized. Everything is so completely destabilized, and I don't know
Yes.
what it is. I'm not quite sure how it is over where you are, because I know you get more sun.
Uh,
um but we're right now supposed to be
Very
getting a lot of sun. But what I've been finding is the cloud cover and the cloud cast, which to me appears to be supernatural. It's not even this, what we've been seeing with the coloration of the sky, with
all
the
fake.
cloud covering, with the type of different kinds of cloud systems all in one sky. This is
Oh, totally.
all abnormal.
I mean, when I see it, there's a lot more, I can't remember the technical term. I always think of cumulus clouds, but there are all these clouds that I'm sure you're going to see them where you are as well. They look like cotton balls, and they're very three-dimensional. They're very dimensional looking, and they're tufted all over, and that's too obscure. They're able to, like, so that they can, even if something is showing, if there's a planetoid or they can make it look sort of, you know, like when you smoosh something on a painting or something, right? But those little cotton ball things, they've used that more lately, everywhere. And there's also a type of, I don't know if it's a technology or if it's some sort of a sphere that they bring in, but it makes everything look like it's dimpled. It can look like like the craters on the moon, and it'll come over the entire atmosphere of that part of the globe. And there's several places that they do it quite a bit. They do it in Switzerland. They do it in Italy.
Yeah.
There's some of it going on in Missouri. I mean, places that there is where, and some of these places have so much activity with all of their ships and their weapons and their the demonic activity is so thick, and so they just look. It's like somebody blew bubbles, and it's all distorted to obscure everything because they're going to town.
They are really.
They're going to town. Absolutely, absolutely. There's nothing normal about where we are either. The clouds here. I've taken pictures with my own camera, my iPhone, and it would be noon, okay? And here, because it's so bright, usually, black clouds that look like black goo, which they were, are filling the skies, and not a soul is paying attention. Yeah, they want to make sure they're going to the beach, or black, jet black with jet black.
And you have some examples you're going to show of that too, right?
Yes. This is by a scientist that's still an astronomer, Martin Rees, who's the Queen's official astronomer for the UK, who is now in his late 80s. Brilliant. He headed the Royal Academy of the Sciences. I mean, this guy's written tomes, and he was saying in 2003, a scientist warned how terror, error, and environmental disaster threaten mankind's future in this century on Earth and beyond. And so he was talking about a lot of what's happening right now because of his impeccable scientific capabilities, his education, his long career, and he probably has, I would say, some sort of gift. He is someone that he says right here, natural and engineered viruses.
Maybe go up a little bit so we can see all of the points. So yeah, like if you could go down, yeah, so everybody can read that. That would be, yeah, great.
Okay, among his long list of threats are these. I'll just read a couple here. Is the natural and engineered viruses, self-replicating nanomachines will be a special case that could turn the biosphere into gray goo. And then he goes on to say about the experiments and high energy physics that could tear the fabric of space itself. And comes down here, thermonuclear threat and meteorites. He says we might well detect near space objects on a course that might intersect the Earth's orbit. If discovered with sufficient time, there might be ways to divert the meteor and avoid collision. So he's talking about this back in 2003, as a lot of scientists were, and they were just silenced. But this person seems to have been able to uh, stay alive, and because he's active in other areas that probably serve the crown or whatever. But I wanted to bring that up. And so he's very interesting. I would say he's worth a good look. Now I will bring up some of my captures and try and give people a quick.
That's a good article.
Thank you.
I mean,
He's extremely, he is probably one of the most interesting astronomers I've come across. And I just found him yesterday when I was looking.
of course, he doesn't get a lot of attention, or
No,
you know,
no,
they're propping up other people that are giving more the gloss and the garbage.
Yes, yeah, like there's a couple of them I can think of. Anyway, he's definitely worth a look. He's elderly, and you know, I don't think that he is a active. He headed up. I believe he was at Cambridge, so he was the master of that college. So he's pretty much probably wound down, and all of his work and pointing to these different things was done almost 20 years ago. So I'm sure they've left him alone. He's not pointing at anything right now. He made his observations a couple decades ago, and maybe he's left these breadcrumbs so that we could have the ability. The other one I wanted to mention was that we have had people like, we've had people like Immanuel Velikovsky too.
Oh, I was going to say, I was just going to mention Velikovsky was the other one.
The wandering planets, the wandering systems, right? So we've got people that have had great minds, and they tried to tell us. Okay, so this is one of my first captures of this system. And as you can see, there is a red, what I call toid, over here.
Right.
And this is definitely a clear look. That was the first, really. This is San Diego cam, and I did enlarge it just a little, but this clearly shows some of the other mates it's traveling with, right?
Yeah.
Very, very early on. And it allows, you know, people to get a sense of, here's the sun sim right here, and whatever other obscuring technology. We talked about that a couple times, about how you can see, we've talked about, as I had shown you, you could see projectiles coming out of it. You could see craft,
right.
You know, all their toys.
Yeah.
To hide.
Yeah.
To hide that. This is the observatory over the University of Oregon. You can see there are heads. You can see the heads of something that's, you know, traveling really fast, and behind it, where this sun sim is here, right? Yeah. So behind this sun sim is some sort of, it looks like a toy of some kind. It's usually spherical, and it is trying to obscure, that's why I highlighted it, trying to obscure it with all of these faceted looking colors, right? They look like, and I've watched, that's one of the things they used early on to try and, you know, diffuse the atmosphere, which is very hard to detect. If you're looking into this blue sky, right? Yeah. But that sky is just textured. It's I've caught the sky net which I've sent to you, the Skynet and textured sky. Others have caught them as well, but just off of these cams and from my own pictures with my phone, it's all there. It's just that if you're not thinking about it,
Mhm.
if you're not really, you know, it's background. It's like wallpaper for most people, right?
Right.
But all of that is it's constantly moving. It's digitalized. I've got film that I've taken myself and watched other people's videos of whatever. It could be a music video, it could be a home video, it could be about anything. And if they have a real sky behind them, I can see all of that going on. And I've shown you some of it where people are shape changing and shape shifting.
Mhm.
All of it is going on. It is so fast
Right.
because those frames are going by
Yeah.
fast, fast, fast.
Yeah.
That's what this is. This is all to obscure. Okay, this is in California, Van Der Horst. And I like this particular cam because they always have it aimed so that, and this is kind of like a distortion here, but that's the horizon line. But I've highlighted it by manipulating it, making it a little darker so that you can see. I have better ones, and you can see all of these clusters that you talked about,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
right? There's probably like so many of them, but we're able to see through all of this diffuse lighting, and we can get quite a bit, which is like the tip of the iceberg, right?
It reminds me of Star Wars.
Lauda, I've got stuff where it looks just like that, and I'm going, why can't other people see that? And so I'm happy to share and to make your own minds up, but it's out there. It's out there, and I just hope everybody is like a Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia. Get out your um,
Laser weapons.
get that sucker out. Yeah, we need it. A little bit difficult to see just right off, but this blue, and you can see something shooting off here.
Yeah.
They're sending, it's some sort of a projectile, a missile that I see in certain parts of the world. I saw them just yesterday, throughout the week. Whatever this is it some kind of pulse weapon, something that they're doing physically, setting that down from. This is a massive, massive ship right here. And right here is part of that system.
Mm-hmm.
And they try to hide it, obscure it just by, arranging itself, because this is all, their technology is biological, it's AI, it's interdimensional, and they can cause things to move around, very easily. That's what it looks like when they're right here.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know what that was, you'd look up at the sky, you would not see any of this stuff because it would just be blue and some white clouds. All of this is technology. See this kind of face-looking thing right here? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
It has like two eyes and mouth. Well, it's probably some kind of, demonic, biotech that they have used. They use it everywhere. And this is some kind of a craft. So is that. You see how this thing's all lit up, and you can see faces. I mean, it's loaded. This is over Hong Kong. It's called Ken Ting Observatory, but it's Hong Kong, and they have a lot of activity with these missiles or pulsing projectiles or whatever. That's what I wanted to show. That's part of the system. And here's the sun sim and that all of their junk. Yeah, that they constantly have at their disposal, right? But you can see how big this thing is. It's gigantic, that ship. That's a craft.
Yeah, it's ginormous.
and they're everywhere now. This is the California Van Der Horst, and that one has really, really good depiction. This capture is a good one. I like it because you can see just all the stuff. All of that is meteorites, asteroids.
I think it always made me laugh whenever I would read the, sci-fi
Yeah.
fantasy, because they're all real documentary biographies. There was nothing sci-fi about.
I totally agree. All of it was what we'd call now soft disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars and Gene Roddenberry, the creator of all of it, was to, and they say that George Lucas and Steven Spielberg probably had maybe a download. I mean, they were given this information.
I think that these people that are in Hollywood, they're actually elite
Oh, there you go.
family members who are given the intel by the government black projects. So
I would say I would go with Spielberg for sure.
well, Spielberg for sure, but George Lucas, like they have, and oftentimes in Roddenberry, they're given what to disclose.
Oh, totally. It's like the what was that called? The left hand path. The guy that made a revelation because they said you have to disclose. You know who I mean, right?
Yeah, the hand.
The hand, the hidden hand, and
yeah,
I believe that because, like you said, and anyone that's studied, and you're on your path, right? You have to know that they have to tell us, just like George, when you guys are talking about what George does, they have to tell us.
Mm-hmm.
So they're telling us in visuals, through all of the arts.
It's the law. It's always
the law. I mean, those big freaking cubes that are sitting out in front of the Vatican, and
but this is the reason they've done this, and they've known it's the law from the very beginning. And so we're talking from the beginning of civilization, from the beginning of how this reality works. They've been following the laws and the rules. It's just the problem is people don't know what those are. And this is the reason why some of us have come in also to help teach that, because it's a gnosis that has been purposefully obfuscated and removed from the memory of everyone.
Wiped. Yeah. Totally wiped. But yes, it's all been hidden. And so now with you, if we're able to get a glimmer of what is really happening for those that are really new, I mean, it's so fantastic. Most people just go, oh,
right.
It's all lies. Why would you believe some conspiracy theorist or something like that? But I think it's better than any sci-fi, unfortunately.
That's why, when I hear something like, the sayings that they have, hidden in plain sight.
Oh, that's so true.
Plain sight. Everything's hidden in plain sight.
That is so true. Here's one. This is Gorge. This is Australia, and I didn't do a whole lot. It just gave it a little bit of contrast. But you can see all of these are parts of some system that we've been talking about. This looks like the larger one. That's kind of like the head of the pack, but for sure. And this here that is seen is it looks like some sort of scaffolding, but it's part of some of that technology. And I wanted to point that out because you could tell, even without me doing anything to manipulate it, there is something unnatural going on here. And I just want people to wake up a little bit and know that this stuff is always around, always. And there has been some and I'm sure that you're obviously aware, that say that some of this technology, and I've caught it with my own phone here, um, you can see gigantic beings, especially this was taken during the setting sun, and you can see machinery and tracks and cables and pulleys. They have to be gigantic, because I watched them rebuild the sun simulator here. And part of it was the black goo clouds that I saw, and the black goo entities in the ships, but it's all part of the equipment. There's lots of different sun simulators across the globe. They can't use just one. And where I am, it's probably a particularly difficult because of where we're located. There's just nothing else. You know, we're just a little blip, and all the sky, all of this ocean. And I watched these demons coming out of it. It was truly a wake-up call. And I do have those pictures too.
Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. This is the observatory Cal Poly, and you can see I highlighted it up here, and there is some sort of an anomaly. That's some sort of interdimensional technology. It could be a being sitting on the technology. You get that quite a bit on these, because if they're filming and capturing in real time, they're capturing everything that's going to become visible momentarily, right? And so you also get these interdimensional beings, which I'm going to point out. So here's all of that, the system. You can see it all over here. And, one of my treats for right now is the interdimensional pilot.
Wow.
Here. That is
Oh,
this guy is okay. He is flying into what would be part of the observatory area, but because it's a dimension that's bleeding in, it just sort of comes through, right? And this guy is booking. His eyes are front and forward as he's got a cockpit. I mean, he's booking.
So can you show us, can you use your mouse on the other picture on the left? Because you've amplified it there. So just, you've amplified it there, but where is this taken from? Because that way people could see, like, before it's amplified, they could see what it looks like on the normal picture, and then look at the amplified version to get a more detailed, you know, to just give a bit of a perspective.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and grab those, because I tried to do that so that people can see that, you know, there was a, and here you can see.
Looks like an Egyptian cat in the cloud.
A what?
An Egyptian cat on the cloud.
Oh, right. Check that out.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I'll go back and look. Yeah, that's, oh wow, very good. See, right here, that is, while this is happening interdimensionally, you've got this right here, which is part of, you see all these jaggy areas here?
Right.
This is all part of their crafts, equipment right here. And it's so, you can see something happen right here.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this guy is probably my best capture for an entity that is clearly not from here.
Aren't they sneaky?
I mean, where is he going, right? What's he up to?
Yeah. What's he doing here?
I'll try and find the tweaked one.
Yeah, and if you can't, that's fine too.
Let's see. Yeah, this is a good one in that. This is over Gorge, Australia. And this, you can see, look at that. It's huge piece right there. But they're shooting something with the sun sim right here. They're doing something to try and break it all up. They're definitely trying to confuse the viewer, make this, to obfuscate the sky. This one's pretty recent, this one. You can see a big bright, I've seen this over the last couple of years. You tell me, it is something that floats in here, floats out. I've got it with my iPhone too, that I've taken with that very same colored toy here.
Yeah, I've captured it as well.
Have you? And I'm going, well, what lives there, or what's in it, what's inside of it? Also, I was trying to remember it looks like the Death Star, but that toy that comes out every now and then, I've showed you and I've sent you. It has like a keyhole where you can see all of these crafts coming out of it.
Yes.
Right? But that's a lot of stuff going. There's a ship here. You can see. I don't know if you can see that all of this has technology, and they're trying to obscure that because that is too revealing, too much information.
So fascinating. You do such a good job of like capturing. You have great eyes, and the fact that you can actually take photos of it as it's fleeting on the cams.
That's definitely, you've got to be able to you want to be able to take your captures, and then you have them, and then you can go back and analyze them, because it's that's a good one. This is really good. It's moving really fast. So that was probably I hope that all of these tools are available to us, that we can continue to observe. This is very good because you can see a lot of the asteroids that are along for the ride here. There's the big ones right in here, and this thing again is trying to see. There's tons of them up here, and this sun sim and its technology is using all of these little reflective colored whatever this is to obscure, because this is the skyline. This is actually reversed whenever we capture, because this says west and east, but you can see there's the observatory, and this is the skyline with the trees and other buildings, and this is happening right there. Right. So, it's happening right before our eyes in real time. Oh yeah, this is a good one. See, here's a Tucson. This is a Tucson, but this is at the observatory in Van Der Horst, and it definitely, I don't know if you can see that, but it's picking up. See how large that is?
Yeah.
It must be just right where how it's traveling over that portion of California, the West Coast or whatever.
Yeah. The colors are incredible in there too, right? If you
look, it's incredible.
Spectrum. Oh, well, that's an interesting little creature.
That's a.
Is that a ship?
No, that's part of. I think that's part of this system. It just looks. It looks the same. It has the same. Color, and they're trying. It's right here. You can see that whole thing right here. That's this.
There you go. Actually, yeah, the one above is really good.
Yeah, what you'll get with the captures is you'll get a aerial view, which is looking right above
Right.
Okay, so you get this panoramic aerial view. Then you're going to get a what I would call a portrait view. You can see a landscape, you can see a horizon, and it reflects what's going on that panorama. And then they give you reprojected views. Okay, so you get two actually. You get one like that and one like that. And also they will give, I'll point it out in a minute, they'll give you the data stream. And that data stream is what creates these images of these goals and multiple suns and technology. I mean, it's very bizarre. It's like, okay, if you were reading a seismograph, it's kind of like, that's what it reminds me. It's a data that's from resonance, right? From an energetic movement, right?
Yeah.
And then it's recording a visual of the, it's just mind blowing.
Right. Right.
It's crazy.
Exactly.
Oh, here's a good one. Demons surrounding Atlas. Look at all, this is Atlas, or the system, I should say. But look at these faces a mother couldn't even love. I mean, these are some ugly dudes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And oh, look at that right there.
Yeah.
It's like they have mugged for a snap.
It's true.
Well, it's like we've caught a lot of stuff because we've caught. You said it was the imposter demiurge, the one that looked like a lion's face.
Yeah.
And there are a lot that want to be. They want to be seen. All the
Do you have
insectoid.
that one down there to show everyone?
Oh, I'll bring those up on the break. I didn't know if you wanted them to see all that.
That's a good one too.
Like the one that was flying by and gave me the middle finger, right?
That was
agreed one at that.
Yep.
That's that wow. That is over Savannah. Oh yeah, this is good. This is over Savannah, Australia, and there you got all of these obviously big ones that you can see, and all of these. I mean, they're everywhere, and that's being obscured again. You can see these rings, these concentric rings.
Right.
This technology, and there's always things that are in here, and that you'll see them come out, and they are unusual looking technology. In the tech is just it's very bizarre. Now, I think this is controlled by Sky Dome, the dome, right? And whenever I saw the tracking system and everything here, I mean, this is mechanical on a level that we could see. It's probably multidimensional too, interdimensional, because they can hide it pretty good. But I have pictures that I didn't realize that go back to even like 2014, and the sky is textured. It looks like a piece of material that has a warp and a weft, and it's bizarre. I mean, it's not real. It's just not real. Yeah, this one helps the viewer to see that, you can see there's objects here, a system, and this thing is trying to really hide it all. And you can see the tracks here. And you can see there's definitely something.
Oh yeah.
A group of stuff. And this is their trick. They're always trying to. And so why people don't see this sunset as being not real is still a mystery to me.
Definitely.
Why they think that they're going to go out and get a tan.
Yeah, from the laser.
For what?
Laser LED.
This is over Cades, Australia, and here is a sister right here, right? all of the little objects, the ones that we can barely see, make out. And this is what the sky looks like without any touch up. This is all veiled with whatever this technology is. And you can see this tech right here.
Yeah.
It's not what we think. It's not what it appears to be, is probably a better way to say it, because it's all manipulated. If you look here, if you were just looking at that, at the sky, it's happening so fast, you will not see that. As you see this swath right here, that's a type of inverted scalar. It's something like that, because you can see the concentric rings here, where all of this summary of the day, see that? Summary of a day, single column of image throughout the past 24 hours. That's what I'm talking about. That is, it's doing that, but it's connected to a dimension, or maybe multiple dimensions of the earth, inner earth, underground. And then you can make out a shadow here. But this, doesn't it look like a piece of like a Scottish wool or something with ribbons woven through it? Oh, there we go. So this is really
right.
See that? That for me, and then you can barely make it out, but I can see it. There's a face right here. That's a face. And I've got loads of those, loads. There's one here. I mean, this is not a good one for that, but I'm so used to looking at it that, and then check this out. Look at that. It's, sometimes it will record a part of the system, a large piece, or little tiny moons, or little planetoids of some sort. It's more than it states here. You can see a face in there. All of that is, I am left almost speechless, because it doesn't work through the normal parameters of what people think are governing this realm, right? Okay, this is over California, Van Der Horst, Skycam, and this is a really good capture. These are right on the money. These are probably the big boys. Because they are really in your face. And you can see that's the sunset right here. You see that?
How unnatural is that? I mean, there's nothing natural looking about that.
This is a cable right here. That's a
cable.
And
look at the colors coming off of it too, from the LED laser.
So it's very, there's nothing natural about that at all. There's this huge cable. Anything that you see, any of these shots, wherever, all have that. And I've taken them here with just my camera phone, and you know, depending on the angle of the light, you will get that. And this thing looks like a vertebrae right here. This has defined lines of some sort, you know, where it's like a truncated somehow. It's their demonic technology. But here, man, this is just, for some reason, this is a really good cam for seeing this type of observation. Not so much for ships but for interplanetary objects like that. It's a very good one. And this one is San Diego astronomy complex there. And here, this one comes and goes, and it's not the same as the red Kachina, but that is technology, all of it. And they're you know, populating this portion of the sky.
Which is huge.
So huge. I mean, if you could put something like that there, right?
Oh,
And they are trying their very best. You can see faintly here. I could, you know, use the tool to highlight that a little bit. You can pick up a whole bunch, but that's like some kind of a cable, man, that is holding that thing. And there's other people that watch as well, and have channels, and they talk about that quite a bit, because it is a technology that we didn't see. I don't believe I remember it in the early 2000s.
oh God, no.
I don't remember any of that. This is what would you say, a decade at the most, if that?
I would say that I think that they were working on this technology from a long time ago because they knew that they would have to implement it. So I think they were trying to get this more or less by the end of the 90s going.
By the end of the 90s, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I recall, when I think I mentioned it to you, I was living in Seattle, and I felt and this was in the 90s, 80s, oh, early 90s. I could feel the difference in how I felt from this sun. It was not the same sun, right? But I didn't, and wasn't aware of a change in the actual, our physical biological sun. That, I think, was still there, but I think that they were already doing something, because I could feel the difference. It was a type of heat that felt like I was being barbecued up in the northern Pacific Northwest, right? It was,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I was like, what the, you know, a couple people I mentioned it to that were kind of, and they said, oh yeah, we've noticed that too. But you didn't talk about that to most people, because they would have, what they do. Let's see. I open that up right now. This is, I'm going to show these captures from Petra, Jordan. It's the Treasury. And when you look at that complex from the outside, it's all red sandstone, right?
Actually, let's maybe discuss a little bit about Jordan and Petra.
Okay.
Because that's a big one. That's a very big one. I had an experience there, which you reminded me, and I'm not sure if I spoke about this in one of the YouTubes. I might have, where it was an operation that I had to go into Petra.
No, I don't recall.
I had to go, yeah, inside, deep inside, and I had
Wow.
to, they needed my DNA to access a hidden chamber behind a wall, a sealed wall.
Oh my God.
So they came and got me, and I had agreed, and it was for artifact extraction to help, because it was some maps, some books that were like copper metal. They were metal books, and other artifacts. So they requested if I could go in and help, because they needed my DNA to do it. I went in, and it was really specific. The whole extraction was so specific. So it's kind of interesting when you sent me that, and because it struck me, the recordings of how this was built, and I think Petra is such a mystery to everybody. There's not much known about it.
Right.
The fact that this has been created with such perfection in a mountain, out of the mountain.
It is incredible.
Really knows much about it. I mean, where did the people go? What did they know? Who were they? Where did they come from?
And what about this? These are the people down here. Okay, see how small they are? They're like little ants. And who needed a doorway that tall?
Well, exactly.
It's like,
right. And it's not from this cycle, I don't believe.
I agree with you, because when you look at the inside, it looks like the parts of a carcass, right? Because I looked at enough stuff with Roger stuff, and you can see the striations and the red and the yellows and all of which would have been biology, right?
Yeah.
And they carved that out of it in a cycle long ago. It's a mystery. I read about it. I got interested in it a couple of years ago. I looked at stuff, and this is before I came across all of this, right? And it said these fancy pediments that they put here, these mullions and all these friezes, were added at a later time. They are not part of the original architecture, right? Which I found when you look at it and when you go and you can go back, you can see how this is more of a.
Doesn't match.
It does not match. This is from a hardcore pre-Diluvian stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And the other one is not. It's like,
no, it's more like from maybe the Sumerian era forward,
exactly.
or the end of the Atlantean era, maybe even that. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
But this is like, and those chambers are, they carved that out of a carcass.
Yeah, exactly. So let's look at that.
Okay, so here's Petra, and it is talking about some things here, but I won't go into that because I don't feel qualified to break down their story. This is a great channel that I found this on, and I want to tell you, Lauda, I came across this just a couple of days. Let's see, it's just been a week or so, and I segued, and it's like there's something, how something just goes, go there, and you go, wow, what the frick? But I looked at it, and the thing about this site, which I sent you the link to, is that they had under 1,000 views. So it's a very unknown, very obscure, but they have lots of very telling and very interesting things on it. And one of them was also about a system, that's coming in.